Welcome to the channel. We are standing on Johnston's Point in St. Mary's Parish on the island of Antigua. And Johnston's Point, back in the 1700s, had a fort. And we are going to check out this fort and see what remains of it. As I approach the point and the location of the fort, it runs through my mind, what were the soldiers who defended this fort? What was running through their minds? Were they scared? Were they excited to be here because it bettered their situation? They were going to be provided with some actual meals where perhaps they were struggling prior. It just is fascinating to think about. I'd love to be able to run a metal detector up here and see what you could find. Such a beautiful setting and incredible history. The fort was constructed between 1729 and 1750 as a defense for these two coves, one to the left and one over here to the right. And it is situated on what was classified as moderately high ground. The local government actually classified different areas and regions on the island into easily defendable and up to harder to defend. And this was all based on the elevation above sea level. This fort's situated approximately 50 feet above sea level. Up here at the top, you do have some ruins of it. Here's part of the stone foundation. The fort was constructed of stone masonry and ran up here at the top of the point. From what I can tell, there's a foundation running straight in this direction, and then it turns and runs parallel to this cove over here, which is called Turner's Beach. Here's a look at the stone wall, what's left of it. Some of it has crumbled away into the sea. This would have been armed with probably 2 to 3 cannons, somewhere in the 18-pound to 24-pound category. And it is just an absolutely beautiful scene here. Got somebody snorkeling down here. Here's remains of the fort wall that are facing the southerly direction. And they were mainly concerned about the French, especially once the American Revolution hit. Here's a close-up of the shoreline to the southern exposure. This island off the point is called Pelican Island, and approximately 26 miles out to sea is Montserrat, which you do see periodically. You cannot see it right now because of the haze. Scattered all about the point, all the way down to the sea, you'll find bits of the fort, masonry, and bricks and things. Here's a neat shell. Pieces of clay brick that would have been part of the original fort's construction. As you approach the top of the point, you'll see more ruins. This most likely was officers' quarters or offices. And as we climb to the top, we find the best preserved thing here at the fort, which is the powder house. Let's take a look at it. It's of solid stone construction, even the roof, and it's been standing here for 300 years or so. It's interesting how they use bricks and hand-cut stone in the construction. Let's take a look inside. All right, coming inside, you have an arched roof that gives incredible strength. As you can see, this thing is solid. And it is pretty hot outside, but inside here it's nice and cool. So you get radiant cooling from these rocks. The landscape here is pretty hospitable. Have cactuses, these killer plants with thorns, and then some low-lying plants with thorns that really will tear you up. The branches fall off of the bushes, and these are deadly if you're wearing sandals. The fort's foundation is on a bed of basalt, which is a volcanic rock of origin. There's one more look at the blockhouse. These cactuses are beautiful. Just growing naturally all around here. I've spoken with a few locals here on the island, and they say that these forts were originally constructed by their ancestors, who sadly were slaves. There were approximately 36,000 slaves on the island during its peak of slavery during the mid-1700s. The Royal Navy had a presence on the island at a spot called Nelson's Dockyard, and I'll be posting a video on it. Check that video out. It is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a really neat place. But the island itself, the governing body at the time, was responsible for its own defense. During the American Revolution, the local island government at the time had to finance its own defense of the island, and they were quite concerned about the French invading the island, because the French were essentially doing an island hopping campaign similar to what the Americans did during World War II against the Japanese. They would go from island to island, invading and capturing it for their own cause. But this led to an immense amount of debt that during the 1780s, the local government here on Antigua had to ask for debt forgiveness, which I thought was quite interesting. They wrote to Parliament in England and requested that. They also had some fires that had caused major financial difficulties for the island. I hope you like this little touch of history about the island of Antigua and Johnston's fort, which was one of many forts defending the island. And really hope you enjoyed it, and would love to have you watch some videos, and let me know any questions you have. If you know anything concerning these forts on the island, I'd love to hear about your knowledge of them. Thank you for watching.